Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm taking you through a 25-minute beginner Pilates workout. You don't need any equipment today, and we're getting started in an all-fours position, stacking shoulders over wrists and hips over knees. Take an inhale here to prepare, and on your exhale, press your hips back, find a brief child's pose, and inhale, shift forward to all fours. Exhale, press the hips back. Inhale, shift forward. 3 more here, just rocking back and forth. Last 2. And last 1. Let's add in a circular motion now. So press your hips back to the left, then circle around to all fours through the right. So circle back and around to the right. 3 more in this direction. Really pressing through the palms, getting a gentle wrist stretch here as well. And last one, just rocking the hips back and around. Let's switch directions now. Press the hips to the right, circle around to the left. Hips go down to the right and circle around. 3 more, making these circles as big or as small as you'd like today. And last one. Hold in your all-fours position now, and let's find our tail wags. So swing your hip to the right as you look over your right shoulder. Swing the hips to the left, look over the left shoulder. Swing to the right and to the left. 3 more to each side, getting a little stretch through the side body, through the neck, starting to warm up those obliques. And last one, look to the right and look to the left. Awesome. Hold through center now. Let's start to connect with our breath. So on your inhale, expand through the belly, letting it drop towards the floor. Exhale, pull the belly button up towards the spine. Inhale, fill the belly up like a balloon with air. Exhale, deflate it, engaging the core, pulling the belly button up. 2 more here. Big inhale in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth as you feel those core muscles contract. Last one, inhale and exhale. Let's add in some movement with our breath now with some bird dog lifts. So take an inhale to prepare, and on your exhale, lift your right arm and your left leg. Inhale, place it down. Exhale, lift left arm and right leg. Inhale, place it down. Give me 4 more each side, warming up the glutes, the upper body, the core here as we find our balance in this bird dog position, reaching opposite arm and leg in opposite directions. Exhaling to lift, inhaling to lower down. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lower. Just give me 2 more each side here, still using that breath work that we just practiced. And last one each side. Exhale to lift. Inhale, lower, and exhale, lift up. Inhale, lower down. Awesome job. Let's hold in this all-fours position for one final move, finding some modified tricep push-ups. So walk your hands out about 6 inches in front of the shoulders. Press your weight into the base of your palms. Inhale to drop the elbows to the mat. Exhale, press the arms to straight. Inhale, bend the elbows down. Exhale, press up. So feeling this through the triceps, the muscle on the back of the upper arms, as we inhale to tap the elbows down and press through that lower part of your palm to straighten the arms. Keeping your elbows nice and tucked in towards the rib cage here, making sure they're not flaring out to the sides. As the elbows drop down, your arms are making that nice 11 shape on the mat. Hold your elbows bent halfway down towards your mat now, and let's pulse the elbows down for 10. For 9, really squeezing through the triceps here. This is where we finish this exercise, just pulsing for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Press your arms up to straight. Bring your knees out as wide as the mat and press your hips back for a nice child's pose. Reaching the arms forward, stretching out through the triceps here. Gently start to shift forward back into that all fours position. Then tuck your toes under, press your hips up and back, finding your downward facing dog. And just start to pedal out the knees here, alternating bending into one knee at a time, stretching out through the lower body. And then press both heels down towards the mat, feeling an even deeper stretch. Then slowly walk your feet forward towards your hands, hang out in this forward fold for a second. And then slowly roll up through the spine, reaching the arms up overhead and letting them float down by your sides. Step your feet out as wide as your mat now with the toes turned out at a 45-degree angle. Bring your hands onto your hips and then bend the knees, sending the hips back. Straighten the legs and lift both heels up. Place the heels down, bend the knees into your squat, straighten the legs, heels raise and lower. 6 more. Lower the hips down and up, heels lift and lower, so getting glute work here as well as some work through the calves and a bit of a balance challenge as we stand and raise those heels. Try to sit the hips nice and far back so that as you bend into your knees, the knees are staying aligned over the ankles here. Inhale as you find your squat and exhale as you straighten and lift the heels up. Let's add a double pulse now. So find your squat, pulse the hips twice towards the ground, then straighten the legs, lift the heels. Squat, pulse, pulse, straighten, heels lift and lower. 6 more. Inhale, squat and pulse. Exhale, straighten, lift the heels up. Making sure we're keeping a neutral spine this entire time here, so especially as we find that squat, there's no arch or curve through the lower back. We've just got a nice aligned neutral spine through this entire movement. Just give me 2 more rounds of this. You can do it. And last one, squat, pulse, pulse, straighten, lift the heels. Hold low in your squat now, and let's finish with pulses down for 10. For 9, little lifts and lowers with those hips really burning out the glutes here. Just for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press through the feet, straighten the legs. Walk your toes in so they're hip distance apart. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive down for your forward fold. And find that pedaling motion with the legs once again, alternating bending into one knee at a time. And then press both heels down towards the mat for a couple of deep breaths. Place your palms flat on your mat now. Step your feet back, finding your straight arm plank. Then drop the knees down and slowly bend the elbows, lowering your chest all the way down towards the mat. And then bring your arms into a goalpost position with the elbows straight out from the shoulders. Separate your legs out as wide as the mat, and let's find that neutral spine by tucking the pelvis slightly under as if there was a blueberry under your belly button that you were trying not to squish, so the core is nice and lifted here. Let's take an inhale to prepare, and on your exhale, lift the chest up, float the arms, and inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift the upper body. Inhale, lower. Squeezing through the upper back here, working into the upper body through this series as we exhale to lift. Inhale to lower down, squeezing the elbows back each time, drawing the shoulder blades together behind your back. Just give me 2 more here, lifting up, lowering down, last one, lift up, and down. Let your arms relax, then turn and lay on your left cheek. And lift up and over, laying on the right, getting a little neck stretch. Bring your head back through center, place your hands one on top of the other, and rest your forehead on the backs of your hands. Let's get into the lower body now. So inhale to prepare, exhale, float the left leg a couple inches off the mat. Inhale, tap it down, exhale, lift the right. Inhale, lower, exhale, left. Inhale, lower, exhale, right. Just give me 4 more each side like this, really squeezing through the hamstring and the bottom 1/3 of the glute here. Making sure that the only thing moving here is the lower body. We're not having any movement through that low back. If you feel like your lower back is arching as you lift the leg, I want you to reduce your range of motion, maybe only lifting that leg up 1 or 2 inches. Just give me 1 more each side. And last one. Lower the leg and then just rock your hips from side to side, releasing any tension through the hip area. Hold them still through center, release your arms back to that goal post position, and let's combo those 2 moves now. So inhale to prepare, exhale, lift the left leg and the right arm. Inhale, everything lowers down, exhale, right leg, left arm lifts, and we lower down. So the chest is staying glued to the floor now, just one arm and one leg are lifting up, really squeezing through the back as we lift the arm, squeezing through the glute as we lift the leg, syncing our movement with our breath as always, exhaling as we lift arm and leg, inhaling, lowering everything down. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Just give me 2 more each side here. And last one. Bring your hands under your shoulders now and press yourself up and back, finding your child's pose, reaching forward, stretching out through the back. Slowly walk your hands back towards your hips now and swing your legs out in front of you, making your way down onto your back now. Separating the legs hip distance apart, keeping the knees bent, and lay your arms down by your sides. Let's find a couple of pelvic tilts here. So starting out in your neutral spine with just a small curve under the low back. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, squeeze the glutes, tuck your hips under, press your lower back down into the mat. Inhale, find your neutral spine, releasing the tilt, and exhale, tilt again, low back presses down. 2 more before we add on. Inhale to neutral spine, exhale, squeeze the glutes, engage the core, pelvic tilt. Last one, inhale, release, and exhale to tilt. Let's add in our articulating bridge now. So inhale, find that neutral spine. Exhale, find your pelvic tilt and keep rolling the hips all the way up off the mat. Inhale at the top and exhale, roll all the way down the spine, releasing your pelvic tilt at the end. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, squeeze the glutes, roll up through the spine, find your bridge. Inhale at the top and exhale, start at the top of the spine and roll all the way down. Let's add in some arms now. So roll the hips up, find your bridge, hold at the top, reach your arms up overhead, reach them down by your hips, and roll down through the spine 3 more times. Exhale to roll the hips up, articulating up through the spine. Inhale, reach arms overhead. Exhale, press them down by the hips. And inhale, roll down the spine. Last 2, really moving nice and slow and controlled here, working the glutes, the core, getting a nice stretch for the spine as the arms reach up, float down, and we lower through the spine. Last one. Exhale, tuck the hips under, roll up bone by bone through the spine. Arms reach overhead. They float down by the hips, and we roll down bone by bone. Release your pelvic tilt at the bottom and just windshield wiper your knees from side to side, releasing any tension through the hips and the glutes. Hold your knees through center now and make sure the feet are separated hip distance apart, and let's start some alternating knee lifts. So inhale to prepare, and exhale, lift that right knee up to tabletop, stacking it over the hip. Inhale, place it down. Exhale, left knee lifts up. Inhale, place it down. Right knee lifts up and down. Left knee lifts up, stopping when it aligns with the hip, and lower down. 2 more each side in these alternating marches. The challenge here is staying super stable through the hips, so making sure you're not rocking side to side. This is your last one before we make this a bit more intense. This time, lift the right knee to tabletop. Lift the left knee up to meet it. Place the right foot down. Place the left foot down. Lift the left knee up. Right knee lifts to meet it. Left foot goes down. Right foot goes down. 3 more each side in our tabletop walk-ups here. I want you to make sure that your low back is staying imprinted on the mat, just like we practiced in those pelvic tilts a couple moments ago. Especially as we lift the knees up, you want to make sure that there isn't an arch through the lower back. It's planted nice and firmly down to the ground so we can stay engaged through the entire core. This is your last one. Walk your knees up to tabletop now and hold them there. Now tap your right toes down onto the mat and lift the knee back to tabletop. Tap the left toes down and lift. Right toes and left toes. Give me 6 more each side. Inhaling to tap the toe down, exhaling to lift the knee back up over the hip. Making sure the lower back stays firmly planted on the mat once again during these alternating toe taps. And making sure that we're hinging from the hip here, so the leg stays bent in that same 90-degree shape the entire time. We're just hinging at the hip to lower the toes all the way down to the mat, and hinging at the hip to lift the knee all the way back up over the hip. Just give me 1 more each side before we add on to this. And last one. Hold the knees in tabletop now. Interlace the fingers behind your head and curl up through the upper body. And let's add an opposite elbow to opposite knee. So as the left toes fall to the mat, draw the left elbow across to right knee and switch. Switch and switch. So continuing that alternating toe tap motion with the legs, just adding in opposite elbow, reaching towards opposite knee with the upper body, getting into the obliques now, the sides of the waist. I like to exhale as I reach the elbow across and inhale as I'm switching over to the other side. So exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. These are your last 2 each side, and last one, you can do it. Hold through center now and lower down through the chest. Hug your knees in towards the body for a well-deserved moment of rest. Grab a hold of the tops of your knees and just circle out the hips a couple of times in each direction. Gently release your legs, placing your feet back down on the mat, keeping them hip distance apart with the knees bent. Getting ready to come into a bridge series now, so working through the glutes and the back side of the body. So place your arms down by your sides, take an inhale with the hips down on the mat, and exhale to squeeze the glutes, lift the hips. Inhale, lower the hips, and exhale to lift. 6 more, tap the hips down, squeeze the glutes, lift them up. Pressing through the heels of the feet to really activate up the back side of the legs as we press the hips up and tap them down. Just give me 2 more. And last one, let's hold the hips lifted up now. Now lift your right heel up. Lower it down, lift the left heel and lower. Right heel and left heel, keeping the hips perfectly stable as one heel raises at a time, getting into the calves now. Just give me 2 more each side before we add on a little pulse. And last one. Lift the right heel now, pulse the hips down and up. Lower right heel, lift the left, pulse the hips, and lower. So just adding in a little down and up with the hips, just a couple of inches to work into the glutes even more, alternating each side as the heels raise. Just give me 2 more each side. And last one. Hold the hips lifted through center now. On your inhale, open your knees to the sides. Exhale, close to parallel. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Option to add in the arms, opening them out to the sides and closing them in along with the legs, getting a bit of upper body work here. Just give me 4 more, working into those outer glutes, keeping the hips lifted up at the same height the entire time as we inhale, open. Exhale to close. Last one. Hold through center, keep the hips lifted, pulse the hips up to finish. Just for 8. For 7, squeezing up and down through the glutes, pulsing for 4, last 3, 2, and 1. Hold the hips up, drop the arms down, and slowly lower the hips all the way down onto your mat. Hug the knees in towards the chest one last time, feeling a little release through the hips here. And then release your feet back down onto the mat. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Grab a hold of the back of the left thigh, finding your figure 4 stretch. Release that side and switch, crossing left ankle over right knee, pulling the right knee in towards the chest this time, stretching out that left glute. Place your right foot back down onto the mat, uncross your legs, bring your legs together, and then open them out to the sides, drawing the bottoms of your feet to touch, feeling that release through the hips and the inner thighs. Just laying here, taking a couple of deep breaths, maybe fluttering your eyes closed. Gently start to close your knees now. And let's flip over, getting ready for our final move of this class, finding our forearm plank for a little combo here. So bring your forearms down onto the mat, stacking your shoulders over your elbows, and have your forearms parallel to each other. Step the legs back now. Tap your right knee down onto the mat, lift it back up. Tap the left knee down, lift it up, tap both knees down, and lift. Again, right knee taps and lifts, left knee taps, and both knees tap. Just 8 more rounds of this, and then we are done with this workout and on to our full body stretch. Staying nice and active through the upper body here by pressing down through the forearms, activating the shoulders and the upper back. Making sure the hips are in line with the shoulders here, not raising up too high, using the strength of our core to keep everything in line. As you tap your knees down throughout this series, make sure you're not putting any weight on it. It's just kissing the mat and popping right back up as we tap one knee down, the other knee down, both knees down and up. We've just got 2 more rounds of this. You can do it. You are so strong. And last one, right knee taps, left knee taps, both knees tap and lift and drop your knees down. Separate the knees as wide as the mat. Bring the big toes together and press your hips back for a child's pose. Walk your hands over to the right side of your mat and press your hips down, feeling a stretch up the left side of the body. And then walk your hands over to the left side, feeling that same stretch up the right side of the body. And walk your hands back through center for one last deep breath here. And then start to shift forward, finding your all fours position, stacking shoulders over wrists and hips over knees. And inhale as you arch your back, lifting your chest and your chin. Exhale, tuck chin to chest, curve up through the spine. One more, inhale, arch the back. And exhale to round through the spine. Find your neutral spine now. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees up, press the hips up and back, finding your down dog, just holding here. And then walk your hands back towards your feet, finding your forward fold. Grab a hold of opposite elbow, just sway gently from side to side, releasing through the spine. Hold through center now. Drop your hands down to the mat. Shake your head yes and no, releasing any tension through the neck. And then grab a hold of the backs of your legs, pulling your chest in towards your thighs, giving yourself a hug for all of the hard work you just did. And then release your arms, slowly roll up through the spine, bone by bone. And find a standing position in the center of your mat, reaching the arms up overhead, grabbing a hold of the right wrist, lifting up and over to the left. Come through center, switch sides, lifting up and over to the right. Give me one more each side. Inhale through center, exhale, tilt left. Inhale through center, exhale to tilt up and over to the right. Come through center, inhale, reach the arms up nice and tall, and exhale to float your arms down by your sides. And that is it for today's 25-minute beginner Pilates workout. I hope you liked it. If you did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.